It's my pleasure to be here today. I wish they wouldn't do that introduction. I'm going to have to stop my office from sending it out. But what it illustrates to you is that I've been executive director of HGAC a long time. What that means is that our decision makers on our board at HGAC realized very quickly after I got there that I was probably dangerous and could get the organization into trouble. And they wanted to move me very quickly into a place where I could do absolutely no harm. And of course, that's chief executive officers, we all know, and that's probably why I got there. But in all seriousness, at HGAC, we're the Regional Voluntary Association of Local Governments. Part of our job is to look out on the far horizon and let our local government members and the regional community become aware of trends that are shaping our region, challenges and opportunities that we need to deal with. So in a real sense, at HGAC, we are the region's change managers. We help the region identify change and develop plans to make that change an opportunity for growth and development and learning and prosperity. I want to point out to you, as I'm doing now, late in 2007 and early in 2008, three changes that I think are of significance to our topic this morning. You've heard them probably in one way or another, but I think it's important to highlight them for us today. The first major change that will be shaping our region over the next 20 years is dramatic population growth. Put in terms that I can understand, by conservative projections, we're going to bring the population of Los Angeles to the greater Houston region. Think about that for a minute. How many of you have been to Los Angeles, first of all? Then you know. The good news is that we have the opportunity to avoid many of those mistakes. The bad news is that things are going to be very crowded. And they're going to be particularly crowded in the schools of our region. The other part of dramatic growth is dramatic demographic change. In many ways, the greater Houston region is the bellwether in terms of demographic change for our state. We are already, as you all know, as a region, a majority-minority region. And by 2020, the population of the state will be approximately 47 or 48% Hispanic, 36 to 38% Anglo, etc. You see the dramatic change that is coming. But another part of that change that we're all dealing with in whatever institutions we come is the boomer age wave. My generation, the boomer generation, is now, I guess, full grown. And many of us are more concerned with the figures on our retirement statements than we are with topics like the status of our public schools. And that presents a dramatic challenge. That also means that the oncoming generation of parents and taxpayers, the baby busters, are going to loom larger and larger in our thinking. And the busters have significantly different expectations than their boomer predecessors. First, the busters have been a part of what we can broadly characterize as the environmental movement or greater environmental consciousness in our community for the entirety of their lives. For many of us who were boomers, this was something new about the time that we got into high school or perhaps in college. But for the busters, this has been a part of life for the entirety of their lives. It's not something different or controversial. Environmental consciousness is just a part of what they do all day, every day. And they expect the institutions that they interact with to become environmentally aware and good stewards of the resources, whether they are tax resources or other resources that are made available to them. So environmental consciousness is a part of the upcoming expectation of our buster generation. The other thing that I think we'll be grappling with over the next several years, and I'm pointing out to a number of audiences, is the continuing dramatic change in energy availability and energy costs. That's a subject for another whole seminar. But as an illustration, I've been watching the futures market as we do at HGAC because we have an energy purchasing subsidiary for local governments. And the futures contract that is trading most actively on the exchanges right now is oil at $200 a barrel for this time next year. And so if you're interested in the cost of running your campuses, what would $200 a barrel oil do for you? Our taxpayers, our parents, our students, our citizens expect us all in the public sector to be good stewards. And the equation in terms of green schools is about to change dramatically. What might have been a nice thing to do is going to become an imperative thing to do, certainly in new buildings and increasingly cost-effective and attractive in terms of retrofits in existing facilities. So this meeting is timely. HGAC supports what you do, what this meeting is about in a variety of ways. We continue to do that. I want to express my particular appreciation to Amy Boyers and Gina McKinley, who have really rode the laboring oar in arranging this meeting. We have several others of HGAC's finest here. I'd also point out Hans Anderson, who is back at the back. He's involved in our clean school bus program. We have helped a number of districts change out about 400 school bus engines. We're going to do much more during this next year. So, demographic change, population growth, and changing expectations are three key drivers of change in our regional community. All of those impact and reinforce the need for greener schools and cost-effective use of the resources we have at our disposal. Hope you have a great meeting. Please call on us whenever we can help.